Friend, come sit with me a moment. My knees aren't what they used to be, and this old wooden chair of mine has heard more secrets than a church confessional. Don't worry, it doesn't squeak as loud anymore. It learned to behave after 80 years of listening to my nonsense. I want to tell you something today. Something that sits in a man's chest the way a stubborn splinter sits under the skin. Silent, irritating, unforgettable. It's about losing a spouse, and the bigger question nobody tells you how to face. When you lose your spouse, do you lose your entire family too? Now, I know why you're asking. I saw the way your eyes softened when I brought up Margaret last week. You had that look, half sympathy, half fear, like you were asking yourself, if this happened to me, what would happen to the people around me? Let me warn you, friend, the answer isn't simple, but it's real, it's raw, and it's something every widow and widower faces, even if they never say the words out loud. But before I get all dramatic and philosophical, let me start with the beginning, the day everything changed for me. Because if we're going to talk about losing a spouse and losing a family, we have to talk about the moment the world splits in half, the moment you go from we to me. I wish it was poetic. I wish it was peaceful. I wish it was like those old movies where the old couple holds hands and whispers, "I'll see you soon." But life isn't a movie, friend. Life has a punchline you never laugh at. The day Margaret passed felt like somebody suddenly erased half of my memory, half my thoughts, half my purpose. She was gone, and suddenly everything that connected me to her felt like it was drifting away too. But let me not get too ahead of myself, because if I don't sprinkle in a little humor right now, I'll have you crying on your lunch break. And trust me, you don't need your coworkers thinking you're having an emotional breakdown over your nasi goreng. So let me tell you the truth. My first thought wasn't philosophical. It wasn't deep. It wasn't profound. My first thought was, well, damn, who's gonna argue with me now? Because Margaret, oh, that woman could debate. She could take a simple question, like whether the curtains should be beige or cream with dreams, and turn it into an Olympic sport. I swear she sharpened her arguments like a samurai sword, and I loved her for it. But when she left, the silence wasn't peaceful. It was loud, so loud it felt like it was screaming at me. And that's when the second fear comes, a fear darker than the first. You start worrying about the people who are connected to her side of the family, her children before you married, your children together, your in-laws, your grandchildren. And the question starts to whisper, are they still my family, or were they only hers? Now, friend, before I dive into the heartbreak, let me check in on you. Are you still listening? Good, because this is where most people start nodding their heads like, Paul, I felt that in my bones. And yes, I'm going to keep you engaged, so don't wander off. You know I'm 80. My stories come with bonus features and extended editions. If you drift off, you might miss the part where I embarrass myself, because trust me, those moments are coming. Anyway, after the funeral, after everyone hugged me, after everyone told me stay strong, after they wiped their tears and went home, the real loneliness started. Nobody tells you this next part because it's uncomfortable and a little awkward, and honestly, it hurts to admit. People disappear. Not all at once, not dramatically, not like they storm out of your life. It's quieter than that. Calls become shorter, messages become rarer, visits become excuses. And the ones who used to call you Uncle Paul, Dad, Grandpa, or Pops suddenly introduce you as, "This is Paul. He was married to my Aunt Margaret." Was, past tense, like your existence expired when hers did. But here's the twist you didn't expect. Not everyone disappears. Some people get closer. Some people step in with more love, more patience, more loyalty than you knew they had. Losing a spouse doesn't make you lose your family, but it does reveal which ones were actually your family. Some people were only connected to your spouse. Some people were connected to you.
But some, those precious few, were connected to your heart. Friend, let me tell you this story. A week after funeral, I had one of those dramatic lonely man moments. You know the kind. Rain outside, a half-eaten sandwich on the table, me staring out the window like I'm in a sad music video from the 80s. Then I hear a knock. I open the door. It's Lisa, my stepdaughter. Now listen, friend, let me tell you the truth. People always assume stepchildren and stepparents hate each other. They expect you to break out clawing like wild cats at a family reunion. But Lisa? Oh, she attached herself to me and never let go. She always said I made her mother happy. She always said she trusted me. She always said I was her second father. And there she was at my door, holding grocery bags and a face full of tears. She walked in, dropped the bags, hugged me, and said, "You're not alone, and I'm not going anywhere." That sentence right there, it glued a broken piece of my soul back together. But that wasn't the last surprise, because right after Lisa left, another knock came. It was my grandson, 12 years old, red hoodie, hair sticking out like he wrestled with a fan. He looks at me and says, "Grandpa, can I stay here tonight? Grandma wouldn't want you to sleep alone." And friend, when a 12-year-old boy offers comfort like a grown man, that's when you know love doesn't die with the people who leave. It stays, it passes on, it multiplies. You don't lose your whole family. You lose the ones who were never really yours. You keep the ones who love you because you are you. But let me also tell you the funny side of this whole thing, because grief isn't all crying and sad violins. No, sometimes grief is downright hilarious. You want to hear it? Good, because this part still makes me laugh so hard my dentures almost fall out. So listen. 2 weeks after Margaret passed, her sister Linda, God bless her loud mouth, showed up to check on me. Friend, when I tell you she didn't come to comfort me, she came to investigate. She barged into the house like she was the police. First thing she said was, "Paul, I'm here for an inspection." I blinked. Inspection of what? She said, "To see if you're secretly enjoying the single life." Friend, I nearly choked on my tea. Single life? I was barely surviving microwave dinners. She started opening drawers, sniffing shirts, checking cupboards like I had women hidden in every corner. Then she marched into the living room, looked around and said, "Well, the house is still a mess. Looks like you're truly grieving." And you know what? I burst out laughing. Deep belly laugh, the kind that shakes off sadness for a minute and reminds you you're still alive. See, sometimes family annoys you. Sometimes they misunderstand you. Sometimes they treat you like you're 12. But sometimes they show up, and that's all you need. Now, friend, before I go on with the next chapter of this story, I want to tell you something important. If you're listening to this, if this old man's story is making you think about your own life, your own relationships, your own future, then let me say this gently. Don't wait until it's too late to strengthen the bonds you want to keep. And if you're watching this on YouTube, friend, go ahead and like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. It helps this channel keep going, and it lets more people hear stories like this, stories that remind us we're not walking this road alone. Now sit back, take a breath, because what happened next is where the story gets even deeper.
Now, where was I, friend? Ah, yes. The moment where everything gets deeper. The part people don't usually talk about, because it's the part that scares us the most. See, losing a spouse doesn't just rearrange your life.
It rearranges the way people look at you. Some look at you with pity, some with distance, some with confusion, like they don't know which version of you they're allowed to talk to anymore. But here's where things got surprising. As the weeks turned into months, I started noticing that not everyone pulled away the way I feared. Some people stepped closer. Some people, I swear, stepped so close I could smell their shampoo from across the living room. My neighbor, for example, oh Lord, let me tell you about her. She's 72, but she walks like she's 30 and flirts like she's 20. One morning, she knocks on my door holding a tray of muffins. I thought it was just neighborly kindness, but then she said, "Paul, I made these for you because I know how lonely nights can get." Friend, I nearly choked. I wasn't ready for post-widower flirting. My heart was still crying, but my eyebrows were like, wait, what kind of muffins are these? And the woman didn't stop there. She winked. This woman winked at an 80-year-old man with high blood pressure. Does she want me to join Margaret early? I told her, I appreciate the muffins, but unless you can fix my back pain, my grief, and my electricity bill, I'm not ready for romance. She laughed and said, "Well, if you change your mind, my door is always open." Friend, I practically ran back inside. If I moved any faster, my hip would have filed a complaint. But here's the point. Losing a spouse makes some people act weird around you. Some run away, some run toward you, some try to feed you muffins with hidden intentions. But the ones who matter, oh, they stay steady. Let me tell you about the night I realized I didn't lose my entire family. It was 3 months after Margaret passed. I was sitting in the living room, the lights low, the air heavy, and the house feeling too big for one man. I was staring at her old chair, the one she always said she would replace but never did because, in her words, it still holds me nicely. Then suddenly the doorbell rang. I shuffled over, opened the door, and froze. There they were, all of them. Lisa, my stepdaughter, my son, David, my grandkids, even Margaret's nieces and nephews, the same ones I thought would drift away. They were holding food, balloons, blankets, board games. My living room looked like a surprise party, but with the confusion of a group therapy session. I blinked and said, "Is it my birthday? Did I forget?" Lisa shook her head. She stepped forward, put a hand on my shoulder, and said something that hit me harder than grief itself. "We didn't want you to eat alone tonight." And just like that, I wasn't alone anymore. We sat on the floor, played games, ate food Margaret hated, laughed at jokes Margaret would have rolled her eyes at. Friend, in that moment, I realized something so important, it felt like someone switched a light on in my chest. You don't lose your entire family when you lose your spouse. You only lose the ones who were never truly bonded to you. The ones who remain, they're not staying because they feel obligated. They're staying because they want to. But life, being the dramatic little creature it is, isn't done teaching lessons. The next morning, I woke up to a disaster. The kids had spilled soda on the carpet. The adults had left the dishes piled so high, I thought I was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. The balloons were stuck to the ceiling fan. One of the grandkids apparently thought my living room was a racetrack and rearranged the furniture. It was chaos, pure chaos. And for the first time in months, I smiled. A real smile, the kind that aches your cheeks and makes your soul feel warm. Because chaos means life. Chaos means noise. Chaos means family. But oh, friend, don't think the universe didn't give me problems after that. No, no. The universe said, let's spice this old man's life up a little. Remember Margaret's sister, Linda, the one who conducted the inspection? Well, she came back.
This time, she brought a notebook. A notebook. She walked in, sat on my couch, crossed her legs like a strict school principal, and said, "Paul, we need to review your life plan." Friend, I didn't know whether to laugh or run. I said, "Linda, I'm 80 years old. My life plan is simply to wake up and not step on my own slippers." She didn't even smile, just flipped open the notebook and said, "First section, nutrition. You need more vegetables." The woman was trying to turn me into a salad. Then she continued, "Second section, social life. You need more human interaction. I signed you up for community Tai Chi on Thursdays." Tai Chi? Friend, the only thing slower than Tai Chi is me trying to tie my shoelaces in the morning. But here's the thing. As ridiculous as Linda was, she cared. And in her loud, dramatic, bossy way, she showed it. That's when it hit me. Family isn't defined by blood. Family isn't defined by marriage. Family isn't defined by who shares a last name. Family is defined by who refuses to let you face life alone. And in that sense, I never lost my family. My family grew. But let me tell you, friend, the biggest lesson came on a quiet evening months later. I was sitting outside, looking at the sky, the kind of evening where the clouds look like cotton candy, and you wonder if heaven tastes like sugar. I whispered into the wind, "Margaret, did I do okay?" And suddenly I felt it. Not a voice, not a ghost, not anything strange, just a warmth, a calmness, a certainty. And it was like she was saying, "You didn't lose your family. You kept the parts of me that mattered, and they kept you." Friend, I sat there and cried. Not the sad cry, the healing cry, the kind that lets your soul unclench. Now, before I wrap this story up, let me tell you one last thing that might make you smile. A few weeks ago, that flirtatious muffin neighbor knocked again. This time, she brought a pie, an entire pie. She said, "Paul, I know you're healing, so I thought maybe you're ready to try my famous cherry pie." I looked at the pie, then at her, then at the sky, and whispered, "Margaret, please forgive me for what I'm about to do." Friend, I took that pie. I took it proudly, because healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means allowing sweetness back into your life, even if it comes from a neighbor with suspiciously strong perfume. Now, as I bring this long, rambling, heart-filled story to a close, let me talk to the dear viewers for a moment, gently, just like I'd speak to a friend sitting right beside me. If you're watching this and something I said touched you, even just a little, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. It helps this channel continue sharing stories that matter, stories that comfort, stories that remind people they're not alone. And listen, before you go wandering off to some other channel with loud graphics and people yelling "Top 10 shocking facts," why not stick around a little longer with us? On the screen right now, you'll see 2 videos we picked specially for you. 2 stories that will keep you company just like I'm keeping you company right now. Click one of them, friend. Let this old man walk with you a little longer. I promise you won't regret it.